Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Convos with Carol. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Convos with Carol. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Convos with Carol. Uh yeah. Different background. I know. Um, yeah, the view is beautiful. This view is beautiful. It's everything right now. Um, yeah, because getting away is time that you need. You have to get away. You have to get away. Good morning. Good morning. And so how good morning, sister. Hey, good morning. Just waiting to see who all gonna get in here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Friday. As I say, Friday. It's Friday. Yep. I hope everybody's having a good day. So, I always say I hope everybody's having a good day thus far because when you wake up, things happen. We get phone calls in the middle of the night and, you get to work depending on what time you start work. And, so it's like, and I know some people work later hours. So you have to say, well, I hope the rest of your day goes good. But in really, I'll be like, well, I hope your day started off well because sometimes people wake up in the morning and sometimes they day don't start off so good. Sometimes they day is not where they want it to be. And that's okay. And that's okay that they day didn't start off. But you know what? Sometimes if your day don't start off good, it can end good. And sometimes if your day started off well, it might end a little bad. But it's okay. Good morning. Good morning, Pooh. Good morning. As I was flying over here, and I do a lot of reading. So good morning from Belize. Good morning from Belize. It's very different here. Very different. It's not so hot. This is their. I guess they have a cold front coming in, so it's not like death defying hot, but it's not like freezing cold either. It's just comfortable. So you can see me with my arms out, but I'm the type of person that probably throw on a little jacket. I might throw on my little jacket, but other than that, it is really nice. Oh, thanks for taking us on that. You're welcome. Here's the thing, Mister. Listen, you don't do your stuff. I don't want to have that. I'm like, I don't want to go on vacation. I don't want to be. You can do it in the morning before we got a record, so you can do it. So yes, from now on, when I'm on vacation, I'm taking you with me, unless I'm in a different time zone. That's the only thing. Whew, that time zone thing gonna get me, but I think I'm gonna try one day. That's gonna get me. Because Greece was definitely a different time zone. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. I'm just be honest with y'all. But yeah, so I was reading. I've been reading this book by Sarah Jakes Robert, which is called Power Moves. And one of the things in there that got me to thinking about some things, I'm in the beginning of the book, so I'm not definitely in the book, but it was talking about our ability, and it was talking about how when certain things happen in your life, you say to yourself, "Hey, I can't do this," or you say to yourself, "That's not for me." And it may not be for that season or that time, right? You might be in that season where it might not be for you. It may be a time that it's not going to benefit you. Good morning, Brandon. So here's the thing: can our current habits get us to our desired future? All right, and make it personal. Make it personal. Can my current habits get me to my desired future? Make it personal. And so when you think about, can my current habits get me to my desired future, you know what you think about? You think and you say to yourself, what are some habits that I need to probably clean up? What are some habits that I have that won't get me to that next step that I'm working toward to get toward? What are some habits that I have that may not be the best habits for me at this time? Because again, it's about the season that you're in. And we all have a season, you know. And I know I read the Bible, I pray, I trust God. And one of the things in the Bible, it says, Ecclesiastics, there's a time for everything. There's a time for everything. And I think that as humans, it's hard for us to understand that. It is a time for everything. So there's going to be some days where we're sad. There's going to be some days where we're mad. There's going to be some days where loved ones will transition. There's going to be some days where just things are going to be good. There's going to be some sunshine, but there's going to be some rain, right? And so can our current habits get us to our desired future? You know, are we doing what's best for us at this time? You know, I think it's about choosing. So if you got some habits, think about it though. You know, think about it. Do you have some habits? So if you do, I'm going to help you today. If you got some current habits that's just not, you say, Carol, I got some current habits, and I think that I don't think they're doing too good. You know, I think I need to probably switch them up a little bit, Well, here's the thing. First, you have to identify your cues. Okay. Good morning, Michael. First, you have to identify the cues. We're talking about, can your current habits get you to your desired future? All right. So first, if you got some habits that's not going to get you to your desired future, first thing we have to do is we have to identify the cues. And when you say, Kira, why are we identifying cues? Why are we identifying cues? Well, you got to understand what is triggering your habit. All right. We got to understand what is triggering it. What is making that habit activate? You know, they be doing it. Holy activate. Habit activate. What is triggering that habit to activate? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What is triggering that habit for you to go do it? What is triggering that habit? You know, my son, and I don't see him on here. I see two of them on here. That's little Mike and Brandon, but I don't see Terrence on here. But Terrence is one who I talk to a lot because he is and was. I put it that way because he says he always talks in the present, walking through the process of eliminating being addicted to. He was addicted to alcohol, and one of the things he said to me is he would be triggered. He said he would be triggered. You know, he would be triggered, and I said, "What triggers you?" He said, "Life events." He said, he told me, he said, sometimes it just depends, Mom. And so when their father passed away, I was worried because that's a life event. I was concerned, a concerned parent, because I'm like, he went through this accident. That was a life event. He's rehabbing, and now this happens. So I was concerned that he would backtrack. But I'm here to tell you, he ain't backtrack. But that was a trigger. That was a trigger that could have caused him to backtrack into that habit of drinking. Okay. Then if you say to yourself, okay, Carol, understand what our triggers is. What are we going to do once we understand our triggers? Well, I'm glad you asked me. You're going to disrupt. And what do I mean by that? You're going to throw off your bad habits by changing your cues. You're going to change your cues, okay? That's why you have to identify what the cue is. You got to identify what is triggering you to choose that habit. And then we're going to disrupt it. We're going to throw it off by changing the cues, okay? We're going to change the cues. Once we disrupt and throw it off, what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to replace. We're going to find healthier new ones. All right, we're going to find some healthy new habits. And once we find some healthy new habits, we're going to be able to sit in the midst of the cues and be okay. We're going to sit in some good cues that's going to trigger those good habits to activate. Because that's what we want to do, all right? Because what is my question today? My question is, can my current habits get me to my desired future? Well, If I just like to spend all day long, can I get to my desired future by spending? I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I have to be responsible. You can spend, but you have to be a responsible spender. Okay, you just can't go gung ho and owe everybody. Then all you're gonna be doing is paying back. And by the time you're done paying it back, then it's time to go spend again, and for you to go back and do it all over again. All right. So you don't you want to be able to replace it with healthier ones. You definitely don't want to replace your current habits with some more bad habits. That wouldn't be good. Okay. You want to replace them with some healthier ones. All right. Then once we replace them with some healthier ones, what do we want to do? We want to keep it simple now. Keep it simple. Well, what do you mean by keep it simple? We want to make changes that are easy to maintain. Now, we don't want to go out there making no changes that we cannot keep up with, people. Okay? So when we talk about these habits and getting us to our desired future, because that's something we desire, we have to remember that once we change it, we have to maintain it. Well, if we're going to maintain it and change it, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. Don't be out here trying to make no big old drastic changes here. And you know good and well it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work for you. All right? So we have to keep it simple first. Keep it simple and be able to maintain it and make it easier for us. Okay? We have to make it easy for us. And when doing this, making it simple, it's easy to maintain. Because you got to remember it's a habit. And so you got to think long term. We got to do that too. You got to think long term. If I change this habit, will I be able to maintain it for this many days or that many days or this many months or lifetime? Will you? Some habits people say I can't do it. But you got to know, keep it simple. Changes that are easy to maintain. And think long term. Think long term. Think long term. I'm going to be doing this forever. So I can make it simple. And you may have to start small. You may have to start small. You can't start, right away big. Okay. Keep it simple. And I always say that because even with us talking the other day when I said about not being a slave to your thoughts and about being intentional and about all of these things. Look here. We have to know when we're doing these things that we have to think long term. It's going to benefit you, but it's not going to benefit right away. It's like losing weight. I don't want to be, well, here's the thing. I love my size. Simplicity can eliminate complexity. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Sister Pooh says simplicity can eliminate complexity. It really can. I love my weight. Good morning, T. I love my weight. But here's the thing. People want to lose weight, and maintaining and losing weight are all different things. However, it's about being consistent. It's about keeping it simple. Now, I ain't gonna go out there and be trying to run no marathon. I ain't there yet. Look, and kudos to who can. It looks wonderful. I ain't there yet, baby. I'll be out there trying to run a marathon, and y'all gonna be calling 911 because it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna be somewhere on the sideline. But you can start with small. Because I desire to do it. I desire to run a marathon. I see a lot of my friends out there doing everything. And I'm like, oh, I want to go on a marathon. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, chick. Come on. I can't wait to see my chick. Okay, so I said to myself, I want to run a marathon. That's what I said to myself. But here's the thing about wanting to run. I got to start small. I got to start training, but I got to start small. I can't be out here trying to run no marathon and baby. No. You can't do it like that. You got to train because and you start small. Maybe I can't do no 5K. I can't even do no 1K. Well, maybe they got a marathon where you just walk to support somebody that's been ill or something, a 1 mile walk. Because I can do 1 mile. You start small. And then maybe they have something over here, Carol, that you can do, and it's like a 2 mile walk. You start small. Now it looks wonderful. It looks great. But hey, don't. So you got to start small. So that's why I'm saying keep it simple. Changes that are easy to maintain. When you can maintain them, you keep going with them. Okay. Walkathon sounds more my speed. Yes, ma'am. All right. So can our current habits keep us from getting to that desired future? Well, we said identify the cues. All right. Understand that those triggers and what habits, what triggers your habits. We said disrupt. Okay, throw off the bad habits by changing your cues. Then we said replace. Okay, find out some healthier ones that we can put in that place. Then we said keep it simple. All right, keep it simple. All right, we said think long term. All right, think long term. Good morning, Aria. Now we get to persist. And you know what I like about persist? Because that means you have to be persistent. And let me tell y'all something about that persistent word. I tell my husband he's Mr. Persistent because baby, when we met, he was persistent. And if you can be persistent like that, that is some persistent stuff. You hear me? I mean, persistent. That's what I called him. He'll tell you the story. I called him Mr. Persistent. He was Mr. Persistent. All right. So we have to be persistent. And when I hear persistent, guess what else I hear? I hear consistent. That means all the time. You know what else I hear when I hear consistent? Commitment. And what else do I hear when I hear consistent, persistent, consistent, commitment? Baby, there we go back to that word, intentional. We have to be intentional about doing what we need to do for us. We're doing it for us. You're doing it for you. Take it personal. You know what I do? I look in the mirror sometimes and I say, Carol, you got this. You can do it. You can do it. Yep, yesterday probably wasn't so good, girl. It's okay. And let me tell you what else. I have friends, and I thank God for all my friends. You know why? You know why? Because I have friends that I can go to. Now, here's the thing. And people, everybody's different. But for me, everybody my best friend. All my friends are my best friends. You know why? Because I can go to each one for different stuff. Now, I got some praying friends out there. We all pray. But I got some ones that pray, baby. I got some that's going to pray. Okay? I got some that's going to ride with me. They don't care whether I'm right or wrong. They ride with me. I need them friends sometimes. I need to call them up. And I say, you know what? Da-da-da-da-da. They be like, you right. I know good well I'm wrong. But guess what? They help me to stay in line. They really do. They really do because it's all around. I got friends that I can call. They be like, that ain't right, Kara. I got those friends. But here's the thing about it. It's about the persistence, the commitment, and the consistency. It keeps me aligned. It keeps me in line. It really does. It keeps me in line. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It works for me. Now, it might not work for everybody, but it works for me. All right. We have to be intentional. I talked about that. We're going into 2025 with this word intentional. So I just want everybody to write it down. All right. Intentionality. All right. That's our 2025 word. All right. And we're not going to start in 2025. We're going to start now. All right. So can our current habits get us to our desired future? Well, maybe some can. And maybe some can't. However, wherever you are with your habits, wherever you are with your goals to get to your desired future, you have to remember that if your habits are not getting you there, if your habits are something that you need to work at, we need to identify those cues, understand what triggers those habits, okay? Then we need to disrupt them. We have to disrupt them and throw off the bad habit by changing those cues. And then we have to replace. Let's find some new healthier things that we can do. I'm pretty sure there's some things that we can switch up there. Keep it simple though. Don't try to overload yourself. Like I talk about that plate that people be at the buffet overload. Don't become overwhelmed and overloaded. Don't do that to yourself, okay? And then think long term. Think long term. You're talking about your future here. And think long term. What do I need to do to get there? How can I get there? Change it up. Keep it simple so you can maintain it, and be proud of yourself. And then be persistent about it. Be persistent about it. Say to yourself every day, guess what? I want to do this for me. Say to yourself every day, I got this. Say to yourself because I talk to myself. I told y'all, I talk to myself all the time. Say to yourself, I got this. Say to yourself, you know what? This change is going to be good for me. You know, say that to yourselves. And as you're saying it to yourselves and as you're looking at yourselves, say, my future is brighter because I switched up X, Y, and Z. I turned X, Y, and Z into A, B, and C. And so it works for me. All right. So can your current habits get you to your desired future? I don't know. It's something personal that you have to go with and talk to yourself about. But what I do know is that you have to identify it, and then go through those tips that I left you with today. And I'm pretty sure, oh, good morning, sister. I'm pretty sure that if you go through those tips, you probably can identify some things that you probably want to switch up. All right. This is a personal thing, personal. But again, we're going into 2025, and I want you all to be intentional about switching those habits. Be intentional about not letting your thoughts control you. All right. Don't be a slave to those thoughts. You can do it. All right. Here's what I want you guys to take with you today. I want you guys to remember that you are needed, you are wanted, and you are loved. And guess what? You are enough. That's all you gotta say to yourself. Wake up in the morning, look at yourself and say, you are enough. All right. You are enough. All right. I want people to understand that they are enough. They are needed, they are wanted, and you are enough. I want you guys to live, love, never ever stop laughing. Always find room for forgiveness because none of us is perfect. Not nan one. All right. Hey, beautiful sister in yellow, my favorite color. All right. And remember this. I love you. One love. All right. We just got to find this world. The world needs more love. And if we can find more love, we'll be all right. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you all next week. I'm ready to go see what Belize has to offer. I got to find me some food. And hey, Chica, come on. Time to get the party started. I'll talk to you all later. You all have a great, great weekend. Bye-bye.